let's say we did some survey, like, do you think lunch should be 10 minutes longer? Doesn't
Yes.
really matter what it is. Would you want that though? Because
Yes.
I'm gonna stay 10 minutes later.
Yeah, I can sit in my car.
Or if they don't get out and go to
Oh.
whatever. So it's a trade-off,
No,
right?
no.
It's not like an obvious.
Not
yes.
a train.
Anyway, let's say that we split it up by males and females. And we asked 80 males said yes, 40 males said no, 60 females said yes, 30 females said no. You got like 140 total yeses, 70 total no's. For some reason you asked way more males than females. We're not sure why, but that's okay. So, this goes back to probability kind of. I would ask, are male and female independent? Or what I mean by, I guess I'm more asking like, is the answer to the question and the gender independent? So, here's what I mean by that. What percentage of males said yes? I'll make that an easy percentage, I guess. I mean, it's 2/3, right? 2/3 of the males said yes, right? Twice as many males said yes as no. Agree? Twice as many females said yes as no. So if I just want to know what the probability said yes, does it matter if you're male or female? No. They're independent. It makes no difference because they have the exact same proportion. So like gender doesn't need to be in that survey. It's doing nothing because it's just like twice somebody said yes here, twice somebody said yes here, twice somebody said yes total. So we don't really care if they're male or female. It's separate. It's independent. They're not related. They're not associated. But what if I made that like 83? And so here, let's do another one over here. So now maybe this is 83 and 37. So it's like pretty close to twice as much, but now it's not exact anymore. So then maybe this is like 58 and 32. So like it's pretty close to twice as much, but it's not exact anymore. Is that far enough away for you to say like, yeah, gender does make a big difference in the response to this question? I don't know. Like it's a little different, right? Males are like more than double, females are a little less than double, but they're both pretty close to double. So it's like, is it far enough away that we'd be like, yeah, they're obviously not, gender obviously matters, or is it close enough that we'd be like, I don't really know. So that's what we're doing. This is called chi-squared for independence. Or association. But the words independence and associated are opposites. So independence means like unrelated, completely separate, one has nothing to do with the other. Associated is like they are related, one does have something to do with the other. Yesterday I put like a list, because we knew to do chi-squared GUF when there was a list. For this one, you're gonna have if I call that a grid, does that make sense what I mean? A table, a grid. And in your calculator, it's just called a chi-squared test. Remember that was like the chi-squared GUF, and right below it, just like chi-squared. So we're gonna do this one. This is like perfectly independent. I was just doing it to show you like what it would look like. We're gonna see if that is still close enough to say it's independent or not. So HO, we would say response. So your response to the question I'm trying to say, whatever the question was, the lunch thing. Response and gender are. So you can do this two ways. Word independent and word associated mean opposite things. You can say either one of them as long as you say it correctly. So you could say response and gender are independent. Or you could say they are not associated. Those are the exact same statement. You'll see it both ways on the tests. So either way. Then HA would be that response. Your response to the question, and gender are not independent. Or you can say dependent, but that just puts another word on there that seems more confusing. Or they are associated. So either, whichever term you choose to use. Remember condition, are we good? Am I going too fast? Or we're good? Conditions IRL, remember? So we would say, our sample size here was 210. So 210 is less than 10% of, I can't use Milo High School anymore. Let's say we're like Washtenaw County students. So the survey is somehow related to Washtenaw County. We're gonna assume SRS, because I didn't tell you. Is it just like that, or you just decided to turn it?
No, it's just like that.
And then the large counts condition. Remember each expected value, or you could say cell, because now we're in like a table, so a cell is just like one spot in that table, is greater than or equal to 5. So yesterday we had that list when we put like the real value and then the expected value. So I'm going to do that again. Except it's in like a table this time. I'm gonna start calling it a matrix, because that's what we're doing in the calculator. We're gonna use a matrix. Okay, the expected value is going to be the row total times the column total divided by the overall total. So for each one of those 4 slots, so our row totals, we did this, so that's 140, wait, no, it's not anymore. That's 141, that's 69, this is 90, and 120. Total, there are 210. So, the expected value, like, expected is if things were independent, what would this actually be? Row times columns divided by n. So you would take, if I wanted this slot, I'm gonna do the column total, 120, times the row total, 141, divided by 210. For this slot, it'll be 90 times 141 divided by 210. Does that make sense what I'm doing? Literally no one moved their freaking head. 1, 2, okay. So here you do like, you know, the column total is 120, the row total is 69, divided by 210. So go ahead and do those 4. Bunch of jerks. What's up?
This example, should we round to a whole since you can't have like half of the students?
No, for expected, it's an average, so you kind of have like a 10th of a student or whatever. So you'll notice these are, our expected values are like pretty close to the actual values that we got. sure the grader knows what I'm doing, so I'm gonna put observed and then parentheses expected, I'm just like telling them how to read my table. And once I show you how to do it in the calculator, you don't even have to do those individual calculations anymore, it does it for you. But a lot of multiple choice questions will say like, what's the expected count for yes female? And it's just like easier to just type that in than go through like the whole matrix process that I'm gonna show you, but either way. Am I good to go? Alright, so now we're gonna find our chi-squared statistics, so we gotta go to our calculator. Let me write the formula first, so it's the sum of, there's a giant E, observed minus expected squared, and then divided by expected. But the calculator's gonna do it, so get that out. We're gonna use matrices. So matrix is, like the fourth button down on the left, the blue or the shift thing is matrix. So you hit second and then like x to the -1. You can see where I did that. You good? Okay. And then the matrix is you do rows, which go across by columns, which go up and down. This one's like straightforward because it's 2 by 2, right? So it's just gonna be 2 either way. So I'm gonna go edit. These are just like, they store these. So right now the calculator knows what matrix A is and knows what matrix B is, and it doesn't have anything for C, D, E, F, G. But matrix A that it has stored is not what we want. Some of you might not even have anything in matrix A, some of you might have like a 6 by 5 in matrix A. It could be all different. So I'm gonna hit edit. And then type in 2 by 2. And then type in our grid, our data in that like little spreadsheet table thingy. Can we still do this like a phone app thing? We good? Alright, X out of that, so like hit second mode, because that just quits. And then we're gonna go to the chi-squared test, so it's stat tests. Remember yesterday we went to the chi-squared GOF, but goodness of fits only when you have just like one list of data. We don't have one list, we have like a grid of 2 by 2. So we're doing the regular chi-squared test. So even though it doesn't say independence, this is still the one we're using. We put, and when you hit enter, you should see this. So we put the observed in matrix A. What this is saying is, yo, I'm gonna calculate the expected for you. Where do you want me to put it? And I'm telling it, hey, put it in matrix B. And then it's just gonna do all the calculations right now. So I get a chi-squared of 0.52, so let me write that down. I'm gonna put p-value equals 0.47. I still have to show how I got that. But I'm just writing it down while I have it. But then I want to show you like how it did the expected values for you. Are we getting what I'm getting first of all? Okay. Alright. So hit second matrix again. Second x to -1. Get to the matrix screen. And if you go look at, like go to matrix B, pretend you're gonna edit it, just so you can see it. Those should be the exact same numbers that you calculated before. I suppose I should double check. So like the point is, on my test, the AP test or whatever, you're gonna get something that says like, hey, what's the expected value for females that said yes? Your two options are like to put the whole matrix in, run the test, and the calculator will tell you the expected value in every slot. You can look at that. Or you could just say, well, hey, I know it's that formula, so I'm gonna do that. And it's up to you. Like this thing, the matrix thing probably takes a little longer than doing that, but your choice how you do it, you just gotta know one of the two ways to get to it. So very often, like the next time you do this, we won't fill in these numbers initially. You'll just leave it blank, and then you'll go back and fill them in like after you run the test, because I'd rather just write down what the calculator tells me than to calculate it all myself. Okay, I do have to say like how I got the p-value, pretending I'm finding it myself, right? So it's chi-squared CDF. What's our lower bound? 0.52, yep. And then the upper bound is the 999. And then put 1. Degrees of freedom is 1. And the way it works for a grid, a matrix, a table, whatever you want to call it, is it's the rows minus 1 times the columns minus 1. So like this was a 2 by 2. So 2 minus 1 times 2 minus 1. So 1 times 1, that's where I'm getting the 1 from. And, you know, that's that number. I kind of already knew it, but just pretending I didn't. And then I can do my little graph. 0.52 is like not very far. We're way over here. So we have a gigantic p-value. Which means we're not going to reject the idea that we're independent. Which makes sense because those numbers were like pretty close to what they should have been. So since p-value greater than alpha, fail to reject HO. Test is not statistically significant. We do not suspect HA. Any questions I can answer in that process anywhere? You guys want to do the example, this example next, or the template next? One goal for example. I got a bunch of goals for example. Okay, do that. I'm sorry if that wasn't clear. I'm not doing it. You're doing it. I guess I have to do it so you can check it. I'll leave mine up here as I'm going so you can check it. You need to, you know. When you're taking the actual AP test, this will be on like the test booklet, and you get a whole booklet to work in. So, like to me, this is not a ton of space. You don't have to squeeze it here on the AP test. You have a booklet, you can write as much as you want. should have been more specific about this. This formula for rows times columns divided by n, you do need to write that down. You're trying to convince the person that that's what you did, even though the calculator did it for you. Write that formula down so that they can see like how you quote unquote got it. Who was in bio? Because people did this in bio, right? Chi-squared-ish? Is it like, as in depth as this? Is it similar?
Similar,
Like-
we have like a chi-square table. and we
Okay,
have
so that's
to,
like instead of the CDF, basically.
and, like match.
Okay. And then if it was like too high, you reject something, or like,
If it was like under 0.5, you rejected,
oh, cool. So it's similar. Okay. But you probably didn't do all the like the conditions and yeah. I'm assigning the con, putting a due date of the 8th, but I don't know. You know, it's always just like whenever the test is. So just remember that. So when you're done with that, I would say either if you want a template, I think at this point I can say make one. Is that fair enough? Like, do I really need to do it? I think it's probably good for you to do it. If you want a template, make one. Go for it. There's paper up here. I can like look at it if you want me to. That's totally fine. Or start your con. I just assigned all that to geometry.
start being like.
Actually, I didn't see
Yes.
that.
I'm gonna start being the horse of affirmation.
So I think I kind of looked like over my shoulder. I just see like that.
I said yes.
You're not
Yeah,
looking at the
I-
code of success. You gotta look.
I gotta look at the code of success.
I said,
It was right after you told me you're not ignored.
I was just going yes every time.
That'd be awesome.
Okay. Alright. Let's do it. Did you put in the gateway for count?
Did I not? I'll double check. Here's your questions. Does she come up?
Did I just say 5 tests?
Oh, it's not.
It's like 2 tests.
That's not.
Yeah.
There is no gateway. I don't need it.
I was like, really? Sure.
Yeah.
I just did.
It doesn't show.
Well, maybe I didn't click submit or whatever yet. Hold on. Oh, yeah, there's one button I missed. It should have popped up now. Or if you hit refresh. Is it there?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, did I put the integral gateway in?
No.
Like none of them?
I don't have.
Oh, God.
I mean, you don't have to put it in, it's fine.
Ah.
IRL is probably the biggest collection of all of that.
You like that?
Just the California Pizza Kitchen.
Yeah, California Pizza, I was trying to find it. I was finding it.
That doesn't even make sense. But it works for everybody.
Right.
It's
Whatever
weird.
whatever student came up with that was on to something.
They were hungry.
Does stats make you want to throw up?
Yeah, it's nothing personal.
Oh, yeah, it's okay.
It's a math class.
Oh yeah, it's alright.
That's,
I would like drive out there.
that's some people's thing, but it's like not mine. And I'm not gonna lie, it like, I don't know, it's like frustrates me a lot.
Sorry, man. Why'd you take AP Math then?
I don't know.
I think this is easier than pre-calc.
No, it is, for sure. Pre-calc made me like,
Pre-calc.
pre-calc made me wanna do something a lot worse.
Okay.
Calc, I think, is easier than pre-calc.
Pre-calc makes you wanna do illegal
Pre-calc
things.
is like you have to do like things and like foundations, and then calc you just get to actually do the problem.
Yes.
That's why
I don't like jump around 20 million hurdles to just do random.
Sometimes the calc teacher forgets to put grades in from a month ago, too.
Yeah.
What
Every so often I just go
Sorry.
back to check and be like, nope, still not in there.
I wish you'd have said something earlier. I mean, it's my fault, but it's in now.
The take-home test.
said end of the week, but I didn't realize that was tomorrow.
That's what I got.
Hold on.